to next nectar.
All right, so this episode I thought we'd do something a little different. You know, instead of being around the bee yard and working the bees, you know, what does a beekeeper do outside of the bee yard? What's that?
Ooh, something different.
Yep, something different. All right, and we'll go over some of the tools. These are hive tools. So this one's a J tool. It's got a J style on it. Can't remember what this one's called, but you see it's a little bit different. It's upturned. And it's just a matter of preference.
I think that's maybe like an L called because it's kind of like an L shape.
It's a matter of preference of which one you like better in the hive. And what we have, like, this was my first one, right? And then I got this one afterwards. And I kind of like this one better, but this one still has better, I guess, purpose around the way I like to use it. I like to use it better for scraping as you pull and clean the frames off. You see they've got propolis all over the side of these, and they make it so sticky that you know it's next to impossible to get out, and that's the reason for the hive tools. I like this one because you can clean that wax off easier. This one, I like it because of the way it hangs on the frames, right? So if I put this back in here, you know, normally it would be facing down and not up. You see I haven't done a good job of cleaning that one. But you would stick it in there on the bottom or the sides and then pry it up, and that'll pull the frame out. The little notch will rest on the frame next to it or the outer part of the box, of the brood box, and then you can slip it in, pull, and be able to get these frames out after they've been, you know, propolized. You know. And then also when you do get a box, whether it be a honey super or a brood box, you can see along the sides what it does, right, when it sticks to it. You can then use the tools to scrape across, to clean them off, to get them ready for the next use, or you do it out in the field, right, to make it easier to use. I like this one again for scraping because it'll hold a nice 90 degrees on there, and you can just pull it and shave all the propolis off. Just like this one, you can also turn it to break the frames apart. Thank you. Right? So that way you can reach in and pull them out. Or with this one, the same type of thing, put it in there and twist it, right? And then pull it up to get it out. This box I cleaned pretty good, so the frames are nice and loose again and ready for reuse. Some of the upcoming events we have the one hive that's in the yard right now, in the bee yard, and that one's going to be needing a honey super on it. And what I want to do is find one of these honey supers. I've got some of them that have honey in it still. I think it's this one right here. And what we're going to do is put that on top of the hive, and it'll give them a little bit of nourishment, but also hopefully it'll also get them prepared to start bringing in the nectar and working the hive. And what we'll do is we'll checkerboard it. We'll put like empty frame, then a frame of honey, another empty frame of honey, and that way hopefully they'll start working the hive and build it up that much quicker. So let's find the frames with some honey.
Which tool do you want to use? This one or that one?
Look, I don't know yet. What we do with these though is we put them in the freezer to make sure that there's no wax moths or anything living in them. And when I get them out of the freezer, I let them sit for a little bit to get some of the humidity or the condensation off of it. And once that dries, then I'll put some plastic around it to keep wax moths from being able to get in here.
Oh, no.
We can see making a mess.
Tastes good. At least it makes for a sweet treat.
A sweet treat. So this is definitely the one that had the honey in it that I intended to use. The frames must have been squashed a little bit and caused it to leak some.
Maybe a lot. That's quite a lot. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
See, like there's some.
Yeah.
That's all capped honey here. Some of the outside of it was nectar, which is the honey that hadn't cured all the way and reduced the water content.
Oh, there's some more.
Here's another one. It's got quite a bit on there.
It's even dripping.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa. I got quite a bit of honey this year.
And we'll put some of these in between. All right, so now we've put in all these frames, some of them with honey, some of them leaking honey. Got them checkerboarded, separated, so that way there's honey on one and then nothing on the next one, and have them set out. And this is for the carniolans that we already have in the bee yard. All right, and the next thing we'll do is we'll get, at the end of March, the very 1st of April, we've got two packages of Russian bees that are coming in. So we'll go ahead and get a hive together for that. So that way we're ready then when the new bees get here. We'll do a mite treatment. I'll do a video on that so we can see the different ways of doing mite treatments. And we'll also then put the packages into the hives. But first, let's get those hives together. All right, what we have is a bottom board that the hive sits on. Inner cover, and that's called a telescoping lid.
What?
Yep.
Does that have to do anything with telescopes?
No. Just some old cone. After a couple of years of use, it gets darker and darker. After a while, I'll take it all off and melt it down, clean it up, and then use it to re-wax the frames. And here's what happens when they get stuck together. See how that's split when you try to take them apart?
Is that the wood?
Yep.
Oh no.
And this damage you see here is from wax moths.
Uh-oh. Wax moths. Can I feel it?
Mm-hmm.
It's even kind of destroyed here.
Yep. But this frame, I guess it's seen better days. Maybe I'll glue it and keep on using it. You can see the propolis on the side here. I didn't do a good job of cleaning this one up yet. So we'll mix some frames. We'll take the ones that have all the comb on them and put them in there for the newbies. Again, the baseboard, the brood chamber, it's an inner cover in the telescopic color. Now, it's ready. It's ready to go to the bee yard. All right, we'll take it apart, set it along the side, do another one for the second package, and we're good to go. We're ready for the end of the month.
comb.
Go ahead. All right, so these, it's a mixture of ones that have already been drawn a little and ones that haven't. And since it's already been cleaned, it was only those other two that hadn't been cleaned yet. We're going to go ahead and use this for the Russian bees.
Are Russians aggressive?
Yes. You can see these have a little bit of honey on them.
Oh, bee! There's a little bee right there.
Yep, there's one that was hatching right there, yep. Or coming out. Yep, and there's
nice.
another one there. So again, a hive that froze out, that didn't make it.
So literally just stopped slow motion
Yep.
when a bee was coming out.
Yep, they died when they were coming out.
Such a horrible time to die.
And on these,
So
we'll
they
go ahead and
weren't
use it.
completely born yet.
Yeah, we'll use these instead of those really old ones, and we'll try and see if it makes a difference on the hive. Who knows? But it would be, instead of putting super old comb in both of them, this one looks like it's medium age, it's a mix. But it also has a little bit of honey in there. So hopefully they'll get off to a better start. And that's all we have time for on Nick's Nectar. That's what beekeepers do when they're not in the bee yard. Over to you, Nick.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time on Nick's Nectar.
And that's all we have time for on Nick's Nectar. That's how we... Okay.
Isn't there supposed to be something on the paper?
Is it silly?
Yes.
Okay.